This might be the last time you hear from me for a while. Big U just announced he's turning himself in. Since his surrender, everything has escalated rapidly. He's not just facing a couple of charges. Big U is up against a mountain of serious accusations: murder, extortion, fraud, human trafficking, and more. Rumor has it, the pressure is getting to him, with insiders reporting that Big U has even been involved in fights inside jail. But it's not just the brawls. The courtroom drama is equally intense, and what really unfolded there adds layers to this already explosive saga. Back in March 2025, federal prosecutors dropped a staggering 43-count indictment against Big U and his circle. These charges include racketeering, murder, extortion, fraud, embezzlement, and tax evasion, framing Big U as the alleged ringleader of a mafia-style criminal organization dubbed the Big U Enterprise. When he appeared in court on March 20th, he was cuffed and shackled, dressed in standard prison gear, a white tee, black sweatpants, and laceless Nikes. Before surrendering, Big U shared some videos, defending himself fiercely against what he claims are unjust charges. One of his statements struck a chord. "If you have something against a black man, you should handle it like handling with a black man in the streets." This cryptic line hints at a deep-rooted feud between Big U and Whack 100, another heavyweight in the industry. A rivalry that might be central to understanding the entire legal battle. Big U's lawyer, John Targowski, insists they're gearing up for a strong defense, firmly denying the accusations and framing them as character assassination. But who is Big U beyond these headlines? Eugene Big U. Henley isn't just some street figure thrown into the system. He's a legend in both the streets and the music world. A former member of the notorious Rollin' 60s Crips from LA, his life even inspired characters in the iconic film Boys and the Hood. After serving 23 years for a cocaine robbery, Big U was released around 2004 and seemingly reinvented himself, pivoting from gang life to community activism and managing hip-hop. Artists like Corrupt and Nipey hustle. His past is a complex tapestry. He's been candid about the evolution of the criminal justice system, from an era when criminals could disappear by simply changing their identity to today's high-tech surveillance. Despite his history, Big U claims he's focused on reducing gang violence, especially to protect his 5 sons who are prime targets for recruitment. This human side makes the allegations against him all the more complicated. Known for his toughness, Big U never shied away from fights in his youth once, boasting he was the last man standing in hood scrambles. But a courtroom fight? That seems out of character for someone who knows the law's consequences firsthand. The charges leveled at Big U are serious, linked to the 2021 murder of a budding rapper, orchestrating a robbery at an unlicensed marijuana dispensary, and defrauding big-name athletes and companies of millions. Yet these remain allegations. His trial, initially set for May 20th, 2025, will determine his fate. His case reveals a man caught between two worlds, a former gang member turned community leader and music mogul on one hand, and a criminal mastermind accused of orchestrating underground operations on the other. This split has polarized public opinion. Some hail him as a hero, others see a hardened criminal. Big U himself has voiced frustration, feeling targeted unfairly due to his race and past. "I ain't been nothing but a help to our community," he said, "but I guess it is what it is. This the price of being black and trying to help somebody." His court appearances have been calm and collected as he pleads not guilty. But to grasp the full story, one must delve into the tangled web of Big U's alliances and feuds, most notably his long-standing beef with Whack 100, Gerald Alexander. Once close friends and collaborators dating back to the early 2000s through Death Row Records ties, their relationship soured dramatically over the years. What began as family-like bonds eventually unraveled through business disputes, personal slights, and deep mistrust. A 2017 falling out over conflicts involving mutual acquaintances and disrespectful business dealings signaled their rift. Whack 100 alleged that Big U and Suge Knight tried to steal his contracts in 2015, a claim Big U denied due to lack of proof. The feud remained mostly behind the scenes until mid-2022, when Whack 100 publicly called Big U a snake, accusing him of trying to extort 30% from the estate of the late rapper Nipey Hussle. This revelation shocked many and exposed the bitter end of their friendship. The animosity escalated further with rumors of physical altercations at a 2022 concert, marking a public declaration of war between two powerful figures in hip-hop's inner circle. This ongoing rivalry sheds light on the backdrop of Big U's legal troubles and complicates what might otherwise seem like a straightforward criminal case. After the fallout, Wack 100 appeared to methodically chip away at Big U's credibility, unleashing serious allegations. One of the harshest claims came from Wack 100 accusing Big U of being an informant, alleging that back in 2015, Big U had a contract with the LAPD's 77th Street Division, reporting gang activity through a BlackBerry phone. In street culture, being labeled a snitch is one of the most damaging hits to anyone's reputation. Wack 100 didn't stop there. He actively worked to turn Big U's own circle against him, flipping some of his close associates. Figures like 600 and Loose Cannon publicly spoke out against Big U. 600 took to YouTube to air grievances, and Loose Cannon even implicated Big U in the death of Nipey Hussle during a no-jumper interview. These moves not only stained Big U's street credibility but also rattled his standing within the music scene. By 2025, tensions escalated dramatically as Big U faced grave legal trouble. Early that year, he was indicted on RICO charges, accused of leading a mafia-style operation tied to the Rollin' 60s Crips. This came on the heels of arrests of key players like Brick Baby and Loose Cannon in Los Angeles. Following these developments, Big U went public with his frustrations, revealing details from the FBI raids on his properties. He claimed, "When they raided my houses, they were asking about Wack, Loose Cannon, 600, and all this internet noise." He further asserted that the FBI was actively trying to dismantle his financial stability and community efforts. According to Big U, federal agents pressured celebrities and donors, telling them not to support his initiatives financially, a heavy accusation hinting at a targeted campaign against him. At the core of this conflict lies a deep, painful accusation. Big U suggests Wack 100 cooperated with law enforcement to orchestrate his downfall. In the street code, such a charge could severely damage Wack 100's reputation and even put him in physical danger. Big U also accused certain factions of trying to oust him to install a more compliant leader in his place, saying, "Wack said he was going to destroy developing options. So who's going to step up and replace it? Whoever comes in is working with Wack." He paints the whole scheme as a strategic move to remove him and clear the way for someone more cooperative. Wack 100 didn't stay silent. He flatly denied any role in Big U's arrest and threw down a challenge to resolve their disputes either through street confrontation or via the music industry. His public remarks, including some on Clubhouse, went as far as urging followers to fire on Big U if seen, underscoring how heated and volatile this feud has become. This battle even pulled in other hip-hop figures. For example, DJ Academics clashed with Wack 100 over Big U's RICO case in April 2025, showing that the fallout rippled far beyond just these two men, pulling multiple stakeholders into the fray. To fully grasp the weight of this feud, one must understand both men's backgrounds. Big U's rise through the ranks of the Rollin' 60s Crips and his pivot into music and community work has been well documented. Meanwhile, Wack 100 built his clout as a music manager and industry gatekeeper, working with names like The Game and Blueface. Both emerged from street roots and maneuvered into the music business, a duality that naturally breeds complicated dynamics where street politics meet industry politics. Their ongoing war symbolizes this collision, tangled in accusations of betrayal, disrespect, and alleged snitching. Though Big U directly blames Wack 100 for aiding law enforcement in his arrest, there's no independent proof yet. The federal case rests on a broad investigation, and whether Wack 100 played any part remains unconfirmed. However, the mere accusation has injected a fiery new element into an already explosive rivalry. Big U's case itself is a tangled mess of contradictions. On one hand, he's a community advocate who founded Developing Options, a nonprofit that received $2.35 million from a gang reduction and youth development program between 2018 and 2023. On the other, he faces charges accusing him of defrauding that very program, a stark contrast that raises tough questions about his true role. Big U has spoken candidly about the difficulty of changing public perception, especially with his own family. He once said, "I came home in 2004, but the people I met didn't know the real me, just the street stories and headlines. I was different, the opposite even." This insight reveals his struggle to redefine himself from a notorious figure to a father and community leader. The current charges, therefore, threaten to unravel that transformation and the life he's tried to build. This feud between Big U and WAC 100 transcends personal drama. It's a collision where street loyalties, industry rivalries, business interests, and community leadership all intersect. With Big U facing serious federal charges and accusing WAC 100 of betrayal, the stakes couldn't be higher. Looking at the specifics, the RICO case against Big U digs deep into his nonprofit dealings. Reports from the Los Angeles Times reveal allegations that government grants meant for community programs were diverted into illicit activities. If true, this could not only land Big U in hot water legally, but also erode trust in legitimate organizations striving to support vulnerable communities. His story shines a light on the broader challenges facing those trying to escape a criminal past and step into legitimate roles. Even with genuine intentions, skepticism from authorities and the public often lingers, complicating efforts to make a clean break. Complicating matters further, some of Big U's former allies have reportedly flipped sides. Individuals like 600 and Loose Cannon, once close to Big U, are now cooperating with prosecutors, potentially providing inside information that could strengthen the government's case. Big U's sharp accusations against WAC 100, claiming FBI collaboration, add yet another volatile layer. In his own words before surrendering, he said, "If you got an issue with a black man, handle it in the streets. They took my contracts. He's working with the FBI." This case isn't just a legal battle. It's a cultural flashpoint shaking the hip-hop world and community programs alike. It has attracted attention from figures like Adam22, who clarified No Jumper's non-involvement despite connections to some indicted associates. The repercussions of Big U's legal troubles extend far beyond the man himself, casting a long and complicated shadow over a broad network of businesses, community programs, and individuals connected to him. This case is not just about one person facing serious charges. It's about the ripple effects that strike at the heart of entire systems, that rely on trust, transparency, and accountability. At its core, Big U's situation highlights the vulnerabilities and potential pitfalls inherent in organizations that receive public funding, especially those operating within underserved communities. One of the most pressing concerns revolves around the nearly $235 million allegedly defrauded from government-backed programs, specifically those aimed at gang reduction and youth development. These programs are designed to provide vital resources and support to communities disproportionately impacted by violence and economic hardship. When accusations arise that funds intended for community upliftment may have been misappropriated, it shakes public confidence not only in the individuals accused, but also in the institutions that distribute and oversee such grants. If the allegations against Big U are proven in court, the consequences could trigger a wave of increased scrutiny for nonprofits and community organizations across the board. Government agencies and grant makers may impose more stringent oversight, demanding rigorous audits and tighter controls before releasing funds. While this heightened vigilance can be positive for ensuring funds are used as intended, it could also slow down or complicate the grant process, making it harder for legitimate community initiatives to access timely resources. Smaller organizations, which often operate with limited administrative capacity, might feel the strain most acutely. This tension highlights a delicate balance in the nonprofit world: how to provide support to grassroots efforts working on the front lines of social issues, while also safeguarding public money from fraud and misuse. Big U's case throws a spotlight on these challenges, serving as a cautionary tale for both funders and recipients. It underscores the importance of transparency, good governance, and clear accountability mechanisms to protect the integrity of programs meant to foster positive change. On a personal level, the stakes for Big U are extraordinarily high. The scope and gravity of the charges he faces, including allegations under the Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations (RICO) Act, carry the potential for decades behind bars. A conviction could result in a life sentence, which would effectively end his efforts to maintain the community and industry roles he worked to build after his release from prison. This would represent a dramatic fall from grace for a figure who had seemingly turned his life around, evolving from a former gang member to a music industry influencer and community leader. Big U's trajectory had become a symbol of transformation and hope for many. His ability to navigate the intersection of street credibility, business acumen, and community activism made him a unique and powerful figure in Los Angeles. Yet, this case brings into sharp focus the fragile nature of such reinvention. The legal process will test not only his innocence or guilt, but also the resilience of his reputation and the sustainability of the community projects tied to his name. Ultimately, Big U's trial and its outcome will have reverberations far beyond the courtroom. It will influence how communities perceive leadership, how funders approach nonprofit support, and how the hip-hop industry grapples with the complex legacy of figures who straddle the worlds of street life and business. The fallout serves as a critical moment for reflection on the responsibilities and risks that come with positions of influence. In many ways, Big U's saga is a gripping example of how personal rivalries, street politics, and legitimate entrepreneurship can dangerously overlap, sometimes with life-altering stakes. For anyone curious about the crossroads of hip-hop culture, street life, and the legal system, this case offers a rich and multi-layered study. It touches on themes of transformation and redemption, the challenge of moving from underground hustles to above-board enterprises, the application of RICO laws, in cracking down on alleged gang activities, and the tangled personal conflicts that shape an industry where street credibility and business success are deeply intertwined. As the story continues to evolve, it promises to shed new light on these complexities and could significantly influence how Big U's legacy is perceived. Whether he comes through this legal storm with his reputation intact or faces severe penalties, his journey marks a pivotal chapter in the ongoing dialogue about hip-hop's relationship with the streets, the industry, and the justice system. For ya, do you think about Big U's arrest? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to check out the cards on screen for more in-depth explorations.